Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the New York City Public Schools Language Trends and Opportunities session. We are going to start in 2 minutes. We're going to start at 5:32 p.m. Thank you all for joining, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. For those that are just joining, we're going to start at 5:32 p.m. In just 2 minutes, we'll get started. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. For those just joining, we will be starting in 1 minute. All righty. So good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to the New York City Public Schools Language Trends and Opportunities session. My name is Stefan Murray Bilanich. I'm part of TRQ, the Office of Teacher Recruitment and Quality. Welcome again, and I'm with two wonderful New York City Public Schools teachers that are going to help facilitate this session. So we're going to just go right into it. Now, before we do begin, you can submit a question into the GoToWebinar. Essentially, if you just type in the chat, a question will come to us, and we'll try to answer questions as the webinar is going on. Once again, there's going to be a lot of information going on, so there might be an answer to your question as we go through. We will respond to select questions with time permitting. Once again, there is a lot of information, so it might take us the entire time, but we will actually show you at the end how you can get to the online support center to get some of your questions answered as well. You can open QR codes on the screen using your phone, camera app for easy access to links shared throughout the presentation. And you will be getting a recording of this via email. The next thing I do want to highlight is the audience. So this information session will be focused on understanding language trends and opportunities at New York City Public Schools. If you are interested in teaching career supporting English language learners, this is the right session for you. We'll specifically be focusing on traditionally certified teachers tonight. Visit our website to learn more about alternative routes to certification if interested, and that's at teachnyc.net. And then I'm going to talk about the objectives. So participants will learn about the language landscape at New York City Public Schools, including bilingual program models, recent hiring trends and opportunities. You'll gain a high-level understanding of the process to become a certified bilingual teacher in New York State and applying for and finding a bilingual teaching position at New York City Public Schools. And finally, begin to think about your teaching pathway and where you will find and have the greatest impact. Now, before I do turn it over to my colleague, I'm going to go through the agenda quickly. So we're going to do a New York City Public Schools overview. We'll then cover the language landscape, teaching English language learners, some trends and opportunities, the certification and application process, and then next steps. And then if there is time for questions, we will answer some questions live. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Michaeline, who's going to talk about New York City Public Schools, the overview.
Thank you so very much, Stefan, and welcome to our presentation this evening. So we're going to start by talking broadly about the New York City Public Schools, such as what it is like to work here and what does the New York City Public School have to offer. When you join the New York City Public Schools, You join the largest, most dynamic district in the nation. We have over 900,000 students who speak over 180 languages and a network of 77,000 fellow teachers. New York City educators have the unique privilege and responsibility to jumpstart the next generation of innovators, leaders, and citizens. New York City has 1,800 schools that are as diverse as the students and the neighborhoods we serve. From neighborhood schools with deep roots in their local community to small thematic schools in the performing arts, there are schools with a focus in STEAM, some focus in humanities, and others dual language schools. Whatever your interest or passion may be, we're very confident that there's a school here for you. So, who are we looking for? We're dedicated to attracting and retaining the very best teachers for our schools. We're looking for individuals who are passionate, collaborative, and committed, and who reflect the incredible diversity of our student body. When I say passionate, we have a team of exceptional educators that are passionate about educating urban students, truly believing in the power of education and that it can make a difference in our students' lives. When I say collaborative, I mean our teachers thrive on constant learning and collaboration with fellow colleagues. When I say committed, our teachers do go above and beyond for our students, understanding their individual challenges and embracing their potential. When I say diverse, we are teachers who are diverse just as our students are. So help put our students on the path to college, careers, and a lifetime of learning. So we have a few teacher testimonials. First, we're going to hear from Sergio. He graduated from Brooklyn College. He teaches at a middle school, language arts, English language arts. And his quote is, "Who's doing most of the talking in my room? The students are, because I allow them to have that voice. I'm just facilitating what's going on here. I'm the referee." Next to him, we have Charlene, who teaches science in a high school focused on supporting English language learners. And she has had the opportunity to support our students during the critical years as they learn English and prepare for college study in the health science. Her quote is, "The kind of classroom that you will have has a lot to do with what you're willing to make of it." Some benefits of teaching in the New York City Public Schools. There are many benefits to a career at the New York City Public Schools, and those include making a difference in the lives of our fellow New Yorkers, maybe even those in your local community. 2, focusing on building a better future. Use your skills to help develop the nation's next leaders, innovators, and educators. And lastly, building relationships with colleagues dedicated to our shared goals. Now, another benefit is the competitive salary. So as of January 2025, starting salaries were $66,733 for bachelors and with no experience, and $75,017 for a master's degree with no experience. Teachers' starting salaries vary based on education and experience. You have the ability to earn additional compensation with teaching after school and summer school programs and for teaching in demanding environments. On September 24th, 2025, salaries will increase to $68,902 and $77,455 respectively. The Office of Teacher Recruitment and Quality is unable to predict what your starting salary is based on your experience and educational attainment, regardless of the teaching pathway you chose. You can estimate this by visiting the UFT salary schedule. There's an outline of the opportunities for increases based on teaching experience, longevity, and educational credits. All teachers begin at the base salary and then apply for salary steps and differentials using the salary application system after they begin teaching. If you're eligible for a higher salary, you must apply for the salary step when you begin teaching full-time. You cannot apply before then. If you are a paraprofessional, your years of teaching do not count as full-time teaching experience. If you are a full-time substitute teacher, your experience, however, does count as full-time teaching, and you will need to provide documentation or proof of your full-time work. You can find additional resources regarding salaries on the following web pages, so please use your phone to scan the QR codes being displayed. We also have robust benefits, which include a comprehensive health plan, which include dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Some require no employee contribution. We have an annual retention bonuses, which are prorated during your first year and increase each year. We also have membership with the United Federation of Teachers. We have enrollment in the pension plan, and all New York City Public School employees are eligible for many additional benefits, including commuter benefits, college savings program, employee discounts on everything from technology and media to travel and education. In addition to all those benefits, there's also scholarships, financial incentives, and other special programs that are available for many of our employees. Included is the loan forgiveness program. The New York State Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program, which is available for teachers serving hard-to-staff districts or teach in subject shortage areas in New York State. To be eligible, you must be a New York State resident for at least 12 months to be eligible. You can feel free to scan the QR code on the left for more details. Also, as a New York City Public School employee, you are eligible for the Public School Loan Forgiveness Program, which forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans after you've made an equivalent of 120 qualifying monthly payments under an accepted repayment plan and while you work full-time for an eligible employer. All new teachers, in New York City hit the ground running with professional resources and learning opportunities tailored just for you. In addition to the numerous career development opportunities available regardless of how many years you have in the classroom. This includes resources specifically for new teachers, as well as general professional development resources available for all teachers. Each year we survey new teachers and use that feedback to improve on our offerings. This past year, 95% of new teachers listed professional learning as a top priority, so you are joining a cohort of deeply valued professional growth. So many of you are ambitious long-term thinkers, and New York City Public School is a great place to begin a teaching career that offers countless growth opportunities throughout your career. This includes teacher leadership opportunities, model teachers, peer collaborative teachers, or master teachers. These opportunities are only available once you've started teaching, and we want to share it with you right now so that you may start thinking ahead. You can find out more information about the application processes and stipend on the Teacher Career Pathways website. We've just talked broadly about teaching at New York City Public Schools, but let's be a little specific about our language landscape, since that is the main focus of tonight. An English language learner is a student whose home language is not English and needs support learning English. 19% of New York City Public Schools are English language learners, or ELLs. As of fall 2024, That is more than 159,000 English language learners. The top languages spoken are Spanish, Mandarin and other Chinese dialects, Bengali, Arabic, Russian, and Haitian Creole. Research has shown bilingual education is the strongest program model for supporting long-term success. New York City Public Schools has more than 600 bilingual programs across all 5 boroughs. The breakdown is on the screen, and it shows the number of programs that are being offered in each language. As you can see, most are Spanish bilingual programs. Also shown on the screen is the number of these programs that are offered in each language. Approximately 30% of these programs are bilingual special education programs. You can learn more about these programs by scanning the QR codes. There are 3 program models offered at the New York City Public Schools bilingual programs. We have a dual language bilingual education, we have transitional bilingual education, and we have English as a new language. Each model has a different instructional approach and different program goals, which we'll talk through now. The first model is the dual language bilingual education. In this program, students are taught in English and their home language equally. The program typically alternates between the 2 language instruction, and it might be Mondays, the instruction is in Spanish, and Tuesdays, the instruction is given in English, or vice versa, or some sort of combination. The goal of this program is for students to be able to read, write, and speak in both English and their home language. There are also students in these programs who are multilingual learners, but their home language is English. The second program, transitional bilingual education. Students in this program receive instruction in both English and their home language. As the students improve their knowledge of English, they will spend less time in their native language. Students transition out of the program when they are fully proficient in English. The goals for the students in this program will be to support their home language while they fully transition to English-only instruction. This is done through spending more time teaching and learning in English over the course of the school year. Lastly, we have our English as a new language program. This third program is slightly different, with different certification requirements, as we'll talk about later this evening. In English as a new language program, instruction is provided in English with support in their home language as they learn. While in dual language and transitional classrooms, typically the target language is the same for all students. This is not the case in ENL classrooms. It is possible that the only common language among students in these classrooms is English. The goal of the program is to support students until they are fully proficient in English. This is a list of all the bilingual schools, and it's available on the New York City Public School website. It has all the information about each school's program model, so you can learn about the specific type of bilingual instruction being offered. We'll share the link to this list in the later on in the presentation. So I'm going to transfer it back to Stefan.
Thank you so much, Michaeline. So what is it actually like to teach in a bilingual program? So I'm glad to share a bit more about the experience of teaching English language learners. So we talked earlier about the general benefits to teaching at New York City Public Schools, but there are so many benefits to becoming a bilingual teacher. You can leverage your existing skills to provide students with skills they'll use for their entire lives. Becoming a bilingual certified teacher is also a great way to differentiate yourself in your job search. So we checked in with the New York City Public Schools bilingual global history teacher to hear about her experiences as a bilingual teacher. So Alexa, her name's Alexa Encarnacion. Alexa shared that there are opportunities to support language development in every subject and every class. And you never know the impact you'll have. One of her ELLs, English Language Learner students, is now a bilingual teacher in the same school where she was a student, giving other students the opportunities to enhance their language skills as well. Alexa also shared that being a bilingual teacher is extremely rewarding, and she learned as much from her students as they did from her. So the next couple of slides have some examples of what you might see in a classroom supporting English language learners. We know you all are going to teach different subjects and grade levels, but hopefully this gives you a sense of some of the color and creativity you might see in your future classroom. One important way to incorporate language in classrooms is through the schedule, whether that is through telling students what language they'll be using in the schedule on the right, or providing the schedule components of both English and the target language. You might also offer the opportunity for children to provide their responses to classroom questions in English or Spanish, depending on their skill level. And in older grades of ELLs, you might provide the same math application problem in 2 languages. So this is an example there. And then we actually have a short video that I'm going to play. So just give me one moment. That's going to essentially, Diana is going to talk through the process of providing instruction in her bilingual classroom. So let me just get that for you 1 second. Let's see. And if before I play the video, once I play it, if someone could just type in 1 in the chat to let me know that they can hear it. Thank you.
Differentiated assessment. Taken from ELL Education, 5th grade curriculum, Module 3, Unit 3. The assessment was given to a 5th grade class. There are 5 students who are in the English language program. 3 of them are newcomers in the 2019 NYCPS LAT. 2 of them tested at the emerging level and only 1 at the entering level. This is the assessment standards and learning targets. There were 2 assessments on one in English and the other one in both languages. The first part was to write an essay where they needed to compare and contrast Jackie Robinson with a person of their choice. The second part was given to peer feedback. This is the writing checklist for the essay, and this is the rubric I used to assess the peer feedback. I started with an image, making sure the ELLs understood what comparing and contrasting was. I usually translate into Spanish for my 3 ELLs. Here are the anchor charts they had on the classroom wall. I created a Neopad lesson plan with the written steps on it. This is the assessment, like a view of it for the English speakers. And then this one was how I differentiated for my ELLs. So I translated into Spanish the sentence and gave them sentence started for the 4 paragraphs they needed to write. Introduction, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and conclusion. This is the kind of feedback I gave to the students. First, while they were writing on Google Drive, I started writing like comments, what they should change. Then we had another lesson so they could understand how to give feedback. Here they're giving feedback to each other. They had the checklist writing on the side. This is the final assessment, and this is the checklist, my feedback I gave to the students. This one is the L that is already expanding, and this is the peer feedback, the rubric I used with the feedback they did on their peers. And this is my final feedback for Jaylene. This one was the final essay for my entering student. I give it feedback in Spanish. Her English is very limited. And this is my final feedback. It is written in Spanish as well. I just highlighted some examples that she should have included in her essay. Thank you.
Right, I know that was very quick, but just because of the short time that we do have, but that was just a very small example of what some of the feedback is like in the classroom. And lifelong impact. So, and as a bilingual teacher, you make a lifelong impact on students' lives. And this is a letter written by an L student sharing with her teacher about how grateful she was to have learned English in her classroom, and showing that that thanks in English and her home language. Bilingual educators have the capacity to foster skills that will help students succeed and allow them to pursue different opportunities in the future. So now I'm just going to quickly go over some trends and opportunities. So we're going to transition where you'll see the greatest needs up ahead and what the certification and application process does look like. So hiring teachers to support ELs is a big priority of this administration. This has been an ongoing commitment with an increased focus to support asylum seekers and immigrant families. New York City Public Schools is embarking on a bilingual revitalization with a goal of adding 100 bilingual programs. And this is just an announcement from Mayor Adams in 2022. Now here's some data about our bilingual hiring over the past years. So we have 164 bilingual teachers hired, 81 early childhood and common branches, 70 in special education, and 13 secondary subjects. We also have 199 E&L teachers hired as well. Staffing needs. So as we're getting a sense of our staffing needs for this coming year and for future years, we can share the following. The largest need is in Spanish, with additional needs in Mandarin, Bangla, Arabic, Russian, and other languages. There's an increased need for secondary bilingual certifications for math, science, social studies, etc. And finally, there's an increased need for bilingual special education. So that's some of our staffing needs this year and coming up in September. So now I'm going to pass it over to Ohesi, who's going to talk about the certification, application, and job search process.
Thank you so much, Stefan. And good evening, everybody. My name is Ohesi, and I am a bilingual teacher. I teach currently 5th grade, and I've been teaching since 1998. So let's go to the certification, application, and job search processes. So how do you obtain your certification to teach in a bilingual program? So we'll talk about that shortly. Okay, so in order to work in New York City Public Schools, you must submit your application at teachnyc.net. You must fulfill all certification requirements and receive your certification. This process is done completely through the New York State Education Department. You must also find your teaching position by conducting job outreach and interviewing at schools. Okay, let me see. All right, so all teachers in New York City Public Schools are required to have certification from New York State. Okay, so New York City does not award teacher certification. This comes from New York State Education Department. We talked earlier about the different types of bilingual programs. In order to teach in a dual language or transitional bilingual classroom, you need to have a bilingual extension on top of your base certification. In order to teach in an ENL, English as a New Language classroom, you need to have an ENL certification. And we'll talk now about opportunities to obtain all of these certifications. Okay, so as you can see, in order for you to obtain your bilingual extension, okay, it must be added on to a base certification. So not English as a new language or world languages. For example, common branches plus bilingual extension to teach a bilingual class in grades 1 through 6. So that's what I currently have. I'm working under my common branches license with a bilingual extension, so I can teach grades K to 6. Another example would be students with disabilities, 7th through 12th grade, plus bilingual extension to teach bilingual special education, grades 7th through 12th. It does not have a language attached to it. You must take the bilingual education assessment in your fluent languages to be able to teach a bilingual class in that language. And it covers K through 12, but can only teach subject grade of the base certificate. So for example, like I said, my common language, my common branches license, I'm allowed to teach 1st through 6th. So if you have your bilingual extension, you will be allowed to teach grades 1st through 6th as well. So whatever your base certificate is what you're allowed to teach grade-wise. Okay, so obtaining a bilingual license. All right, so pathways to obtaining a bilingual extension, obtaining a bilingual extension, approved teacher preparation program, individual evaluation, so 12 credits in specific courses. If you have a permanent bilingual elementary or secondary extension prior to 2004, that would apply to me. For example, you do not need to obtain the K through 12 extension now. You can teach the grade level of your base certificate, even if it is different than your elementary and secondary extension. So English as a new language certification. So English as a new language also may be called English as a second language, or ESL, teaching English as a second language, TESOL, or English to speakers of other languages, ESOL. Does not require fluency in another language, grades pre-K through 12 certification, and cannot be combined with a bilingual extension. And you can scan the QR code to the right for additional information. Okay, supplementary certificate opportunities. This is a new state opportunity to obtain a supplementary bilingual extension or English as a new language certification, where you only need to complete either the required exam or the required coursework, but not both. This is a limited opportunity that the state is offering to help meet the increased need for teachers in these areas right now. You must have a valid base certification in order to qualify. The QR code right there on the screen will help you take you to the state webpage where you can find more information about this opportunity. There is another opportunity available as well. If you already have a valid base certification in special education and are bilingual, and that is to participate in an extended certification opportunity. If you are a special education teacher and accept a position at an approved bilingual program school, you can be considered for the bilingual extension extended certification opportunity with a referral from the hiring principal. You can scan the QR code to learn more and express interest when the next extended certification cohort opens. Extended certification application is open through June 14th, and it opens each year in the springtime for the following school year. In addition to your state certification, you will also need to complete the New York City Public Schools application. Okay, so that's one application for 1,600 New York City Public Schools. It can be completed simultaneously with New York State Education Department Teach Certification application. And please scan the QR code for more information about that. And this is the typical application timeline for the New York City teacher application. Once your application is submitted, you can start your job search and interview process throughout the spring. Okay, so let's look at some application deadlines. This slide showcases all of our application deadlines. As we go through our season, applicants will have certain deadlines to submit their application. For example, if students submit their application by May 8th, which is fast approaching, just a week away, they have access to various job search supports, such as access to vacancy lists in your subject area and preferred boroughs, invitations to in-person and virtual networking events with schools that have vacancies in your subject area, and of course, invitations to virtual job search workshops. As you see, the earlier a teacher candidate applies, the more opportunities and job search supports that are available. If you are certified or you are on track to be certified by September 1st, 2025, we highly recommend that you apply as soon as possible. Okay, so early commitment. We also want to share with you some updated early commitment stipend information. We recommend for those who are interested in early commitment to apply as soon as possible to be eligible. So you will have an opportunity to secure a position and a signing stipend before school budgets are released in June. Schools in select districts can make hiring commitments to candidates until June 16th. Stipends range from $1,500 to $3,000, depending on the subject, and are available on a first-come, first-served basis. And we have Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens districts, citywide District 75, and schools with new programs for students on the autism spectrum, access schools within these districts, citywide schools with approved bilingual students with disabilities programs. We are so excited to share that New York City Public Schools is anticipating record hiring this year. New York State passed a law that requires smaller classes. This is better for both students and, of course, teachers. This is a screenshot of teachnyc.net where you'll go to apply. You will see an apply now option on the carousel and other areas of the website. Remember, the earlier you complete the application, the better. It's kind of like getting in line first. It gives you a little bit of an advantage. And we already discussed all the job search supports. Once you have completed your teacher application and it's been reviewed by our team, you will be entered into the new teacher finder. This will allow you to begin taking advantage of job search supports, including bilingual programs list, new teacher finder vacancies, vacancy lists, and of course, networking events. And for section 4, we're going to talk about next steps and questions. So visit the online support center for 24/7 support with the application and hiring process. The support center contains hundreds of articles about every stage of the application and hiring process, as well as a Contact Us button where you can submit your question to the TRQ help desk for a personalized response. And you can scan that QR button over there or code over there. And you can also, well, this is zendesk.com. Please follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to stay on top of what's happening within the New York City Department of Education. We have an active social media platform, actually a few of them, where we regularly share updates on the application and recruitment events, as well as news about what's going on in our schools and relevant opportunities for teachers. So please join in the conversation.